Okay, so we're gonna get started on our backs today. So if you just wanna come back to your mat, come down your back, keep your feet planted into the ground with your knees pointing up towards the sky. If you want and you have a block or another prop, you can grab that and put it underneath your hips. If you wanna just stay on your back, you can do that too. Completely up to you. But anything that's gonna help you just settle in here. Throughout class today, I will time us in every posture, and we'll let you know when we're about halfway through. So if you have a deeper expression in your restorative poses, you can take them at any point. And I will also offer up modifications if something's a little too intense or you want to take it further. I will guide you through that. So just settle in on your back, roll your shoulders down your back, firmly press your feet into the floor. Feel all corners of your feet into the mat. You can place your palms up. If you need a little bit more energy this morning, if you're just slow to get started and just want a little bit of some good energy, or facing down to feel grounded if you're just needing some good restorative vibes and after a crazy week and just need a little bit more grounding, you can face them down. But softly close your eyes and pay attention to any areas you might be holding onto tension. So if you're clenching your jaw or furrowing your brow, just slightly let those relax. And again, if you're holding on to tension in your shoulder blades, in your back and your hips, just ease into this and continue to open here. Coming off of a holiday weekend, usually it's really hard to get started. You have to go back to work or back to your normal routine. And I know I also felt that this week. It was just Tuesday just felt crazy, and the rest of the week just followed the same pattern just to catch up from having a day off. So restorative is just so great to let those things go, to just recollect yourself and allow opening and just an ease to the rest of your weekend. It's so nice here if you're local, and I'm so grateful that you chose to come to your mat today. It's just so great to see all of you guys. When you're ready, start to ground into your left foot and lift your right foot off of the mat and slowly start to come to a figure four shape. So your knee or your right knee will be facing towards the right. Your ankle will hang over your left knee. And you can just stay here. If this is enough for opening your hips, if you're just feeling like, I just want to ease into this practice today, just stay here. If you want a little bit more intensity, you can start to lift your left foot off of the earth and nudge your knee towards your midline. So then if you would like to, you can push your right knee out a little further and just feel the stretch here. This might be more than you want, so you can go back down here and just slightly nudge your knee away just for some gentle opening. If you're looking for something a little bit more intense, if you're holding onto a lot of tension in your hips like we tend to do, if you just need a little bit more opening, you can take this to a full supine pigeon shape by interlacing your fingertips behind your left thigh. And then you can use your right elbow to nudge your right knee just slightly away from you. So again, there's a lot of different modifications that you can take here. Please do what feels good to you. If this is way too intense, you can always just back off again. And again, just being mindful of whatever shape that you're in, that each side is going to feel different. So When we eventually make it to the other side, after a few other postures that we're going to take in our class today, just pay attention right now to how this side feels. And then when we make it onto our other side, you might be surprised at how different that side feels for you. You might need a prop or might need to back off, or perhaps you're craving some more. So just tune into that as you continue to open and explore this pose. I'll always let you know when we're about halfway through each posture, just so that if you do feel good where you're at and you do want to take it a little bit further, you have that option to do that. Continue to feel the shape in whatever expression that you've chosen. We're already about halfway through, so if you want to further your expression or nudge your right knee away a little bit more, please take that here. If that's just a little bit too much for your knees or your back, just pay attention to that too. There's no perfect posture in yoga. There's no perfect form. It's your practice and you take that where you need. And today might feel a lot different than even last week or yesterday in your yoga practice. So just be kind to yourself and accept where you're at today. We have about 30 more seconds here. You want to deepen at all or back off. You've taken it to a further expression. Plant your left foot back into the earth, into your figure four shape. And slowly start to just bring more awareness back to your body. If you were zoning out a little bit, enjoying that posture, I'm going to take it further here. So when you're ready, you'll take the bottom of your right foot and slowly start to rotate over towards the left-hand side until your foot can touch the earth. This might be extremely intense, so if you need to back off and just slightly start to twist, you can certainly do that. But if you're here and this feels good, just pay attention to your shoulder blades. Are they both melting into the mat? Can you tee out your arms? And if this feels good to you, you can take your gaze over to your right fingertips just for a full twisting sensation. You should feel an intense stretch along your right IT band, starting to get into our twisting series, which is so good for rinsing out and detoxifying the body. If you've been holding on to a lot of stress or just other things, these poses are just so beneficial. So you may be feeling a little bit of discomfort right now, but the longer that we hold these poses, the reason why restorative or yin practice is just so beneficial is you can spend some more time deeply stretching and getting into certain postures. So if you're really tight in your hips, for instance, if you're just holding it for 30 seconds in normal vinyasa, you may not really be able to get as much opening as you would if you were spending 90 seconds or more in yin. So this ability to spend some time here, it may feel like you're not doing very much, but you're doing so much for your body and just letting things go, opening up more space, relaxing, letting stress and anxiety go. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and these postures can bring up a lot of emotion, and you can just let that happen, or whatever resonates with you throughout this practice today. We're halfway through this side. If you'd like to take your gaze over to your right fingertips or add in anything else that's gonna help you deepen a little bit further if you're ready. And if you're not, that's okay. If you feel good here and this is your edge, you stay here. I tend to hold a lot of my stress in my hips and my hamstrings. And so a lot of yin postures are really hard for me because it's my weakness. It's much easier for me to flow and get in and out of stuff, and to hold this stuff with you guys is, you know, I'm really feeling it in my IT band and my hip right now. But that's signaling to me that I need this practice more than anything. So just being mindful of what your body needs. It's sending you some signals of, you know, just needing to release that tension. "30 more seconds here for any final deeper expressions. When you're ready, we're gonna deepen our twist by coming up, push yourself up onto your palms and start to rotate towards where the crown of your head would be on your mat. This might be enough. This might be a lot for you, a very, very intense stretch. You might be looking to get into more a restorative posture, and you can come down to Sphinx arms. So your forearms should be facing the mat, and if it was like, if you could make an 11 shape with your forearms, this might be way too intense. You can grab some blocks to prop you up a little bit further off of the mat, or again, you can just stay here in this twist. If that's way too much, you can just come back to facing the side of your mat for just a gentler twist. Again, you may not be able to get very far right now, but as we get deeper and hold this for a little bit longer, you might find that you can get into this a little bit further. So meet yourself where you're at right now. If coming down to your forearms is just way too much, again, just back off. But if this feels good, you'll notice about halfway through, when I let you guys know that we're there, that you might feel a little bit more relaxed than you are right now. You might be holding on to a lot of tension in your shoulders, in your upper back. But the more that you just surrender and allow yourself to open, the more that your body is just going to ease into this. So take this where you need and how intense you need it to be. We're already about halfway through. So if you have a deeper expression, or if you're feeling good where you're at, just stay there. Again, no judgment on your practice. This is your space, your time. There's a lot of postures that I'm not very comfortable in, and I've been practicing yoga for a very long time. So meet yourself where you're at. And you may just need a very gentle practice today, and that's okay. Can you challenge yourself to close your eyes and just settle in here a little further? We won't be here forever. And while a lot of these twists are extremely challenging, Imagine that you're rinsing out and letting something go. Few final breaths here. Take what you still need. When you're ready, slowly start to make your way out by pushing up on your palms, twisting back. We're gonna actually come to a supine twist facing the left-hand side. This is gonna feel a lot easier than normal just because of all the twisting we've already done. So just to reset, you can come back to your back, tee out your arms, and bring your knees down to towards the left-hand side. So again, this should feel a little bit more accessible than normal. If you need, you can take a block or any kind of prop and just place it underneath your knees or between your knees if you need a little bit more broadening in the lower back. It's really helpful if you got low back issues to just place a block there. If this feels good, you can take your gaze again to your right fingertips, just for an opening in the upper spine. And be mindful of your shoulder blades. Are they both facing the mat? Are they firmly pressed down into the mat? If not, you may need to back off of this twist a little bit, and that's okay. Set our timer here. And I'll let you know, as always, when we're about halfway through in case you want to take this any further. Anytime I do any kind of twist, I always think, imagine a dish rag that you're just rinsing out and wringing out and leaving whatever you need behind. So things that went wrong this week or were challenging, or perhaps you're just overwhelmed by everything that's happening right now. Just imagine that for a brief moment, for this 60 minutes on your mat, that you can just wring it out, let it go, start over. Start your day over, start your week over. You have that ability right now. Our minds are such a powerful thing. And the more that we can think about that and visualize doing that in these postures, the more that you'll be able to open up and release something here. We're halfway through, so if you do want to deepen this posture in any way, or perhaps it's just a lot and you want to back off a little bit, you can do that too. Again, this is your practice today. I am just guiding you through, but if there's another posture or expression that you want to take at any point, this is your time. So these are just merely suggestions for you. Take what you need. You might hear sounds around you, including my son playing downstairs. Just can you tune out and tune into where you're at? Pay attention to the music, the sound of your breath, the birds chirping outside. When you're ready, slowly start to make your way out of this posture and bring your knees back to your chest. We'll take a brief stop in happy baby just to release our lower back before we switch to the other side. So You grab onto the outer edges of your feet, bring your knees in towards your armpits, and this static movement right here might be enough for you, or you may want to sway from side to side just to release your lower back. Again, taking any postures that feel good to you to let that side go. When you're ready, ground your feet into the earth. Lift your left leg off of the ground. Place your left ankle over your right knee for that figure four shape. And again, this might be enough for you. You can also take it further by lifting your right leg off of the earth, and you can gently nudge your left knee away. Or you can take full supine pigeon by interlacing your fingertips behind your thigh and using your elbow to nudge your knee away. Again, this might be way too intense right now, but halfway through, you might find that this is more accessible to you. So take what you need here. I'll let you know when we're halfway through. And this side will likely feel different than your other side. So be mindful of that. Be gentle with yourself. This might be your easier side. You might have less tension in your hips on this side. So you might find that you can take it further than before. So again, just paying attention to what your body needs. If you're craving something more, please take that here. Pay attention to your breath. Are you taking deep inhalations and exhalations, or are you shallow breathing in your chest? Can you start to lengthen each inhale and exhale as you breathe into this pose? We're about halfway through. If you do have a deeper expression that you want to make your way into, even if you're just keeping your right foot firmly planted, you can start to gently nudge your left knee away with your fingertips. That might be enough to further this expression for you. If you want to just stay in your figure four shape, you can certainly do that too. About 30 more seconds here, taking what you still need in this pose, leaving behind what you don't. Final breath here. And when you're ready, we're going to start to make our way to that figure four twist. So you'll start to rotate your legs towards the right side. And if your foot can touch the ground, leave that there. And tee out your arms. And if you would like a full spinal twist, you can take your gaze over to your right fingertips. Again, this might be a lot. You can also place a block underneath your right knee to prop you up a little bit. A pillow under your right knee might feel really good too. Just finding a way to start to get into this twist. We're about halfway through already on this side. So if you'd like to adjust yourself in any way, perhaps removing props or taking your gaze towards your right fingertips. If your gaze is already there, you can softly close your eyes and just really enjoy the last 90 seconds in this posture. If you are feeling any sensation in your hip, your IT band, can you send your breath there to just soften and allow for more deeper opening? We're getting dual benefit of a twist and also a hip opener. And so this might be a lot. You might be feeling a lot of tightness, a lot of tension, a lot of things coming up. But can you bring yourself back to your mat and be mindful of the fact that you are spending this time on yourself and taking what you need from this practice? And that might look different today than it did last week, or perhaps you need something a little bit different, and that's okay. Final breaths here. When you're ready, we'll start to make our way back to Sphinx pose. So this might be, again, way too much right now. You might just want to stay in a twist facing the right side of your mat. But if you're ready, you can start to twist towards the top of your mat. Again, stay on your fingertips if this feels good. If you want a further expression, you can start to make your way down. If you have a pillow or a block or a couple pillows, you can prop yourself up here to make the ground more accessible to you so that you can rest your forehead or your chest down. It helps to, not to have to carry the load of the twist in your upper body if you use props. They're here for you to assist your practice, and you might need them right away, and then maybe halfway through you might not need them anymore. But I'll let you know when we're halfway through so that you can deepen further if you want, or you can just stay where you're at. You are in the Sphinx pose. You can push more into your forearms and lift your chest up a bit for some more opening. If you're really stuck behind a keyboard all day at work or just in your daily life, you're hunched over, maybe you are on your phone texting and need a chest opener, you can use this time to further open your front body by just gently pressing into the earth and nudging your chest and gaze upward. Again, this is a lot. So if you're feeling like this is too much for you, you do not have to go there, but offering it up as a modification if you would like a further expression. We're halfway through already. So if you'd like to take it a little further, you can. If this is enough, you stay here. Again, you won't be in this pose forever. And the more that you can twist from your abdomen, so if you do engage your core a little bit, the more you'll be able to open up in the twist and make your way more towards the left-hand side. So just be mindful of that, where you're twisting from. And again, this could all be too intense, but that's okay. We can work towards that. And the more time that we spend in this posture, the more that you'll be able to open up. About 30 more seconds here, taking any further shapes or expressions that you may need. Or maybe just knowing that we're only in this for 30 more seconds is so good. We're almost done with this side. Final few breaths here. When you're ready, push yourself back up. You can come out of this twist all the way. And we're just gonna take the traditional supine twist to the right-hand side. Again, this might feel super accessible now that we've done all this opening. Come down to your back, tee out your arms, and twist your knees over to the right. Take your gaze to the left. And whatever you need here to get into this shape. I'll let you know when we're halfway through. If you need to place a block in between your knees, underneath your knees. Just be mindful of your shoulder blades. And can you just softly close your eyes? Just fully be present in this twist. This is our last twist of our practice today, so take what you need here. Any final bringing out or furthering of a twist. Just be mindful of that this is your time to do that, to unwind, to let something go. We're halfway through on this side, so if you want to deepen, please take it there. Can you start to soften your face or roll your shoulders down your back? Just allow any areas of tension that you still might be feeling, just to let them go. Got about 30 more seconds on this side. Taking your final expressions, anything that feels good. When you're ready, you can slowly start to come back to center. Again, you might want to just sway gently from side to side to loosen up your lower back. Coming out of this twist might be a lot. Take what you need here in the transition. When you're ready, make your way to your belly. And come all the way down. Bring your chin to the mat and goal post your arms out to either side of your mat. When you're ready, start to shift your left knee up towards your left elbow for a half frog. If you are wanting a super duper hip opener and want to hang out in frog for a bit, you can actually come to full frog here, which you would just bring your right knee up to your right elbow as well. It's very intense and we were gonna hold it for a little bit. So if you're really open or you just want more of a challenge or that's in your practice, please take full frog. But most of us are not wanting that level of intensity today, so half frog is where we're gonna hang out. You can bring your gaze over towards your left side. If you need to, you can prop your head up with your right hand or a prop of some sort if you've got a pillow or a block accessible to you. But as you're in this pose, if you start to dig your right toes into the earth, lift up your hip on the right hand side and then just shift it over slightly to the right. That will help you get deeper into your left hip flexor to allow more of an intense stretch. So take that gentle approach to opening a little bit more before you really breathe into this pose. I'll let you know when we're about halfway through. Frog can be very intense. So if you'd rather take pigeon pose, you can certainly do that, or sleeping swan if you're familiar with yin postures. Otherwise, frog is a great one to open up the front side of the body as well as your entire hip area. And we've done a lot of that already with our figure four shapes and our twists. But this is just focusing primarily on your hips and releasing and letting stuff go. If you have not caught on to the theme this week, it's really just about where can you leave stuff behind, let things go, focus on the things that are no longer serving you, that you want to leave behind in your week. Perhaps you had a really rough week at work or just in your personal life, or friendships or relationships that you're dealing with right now, or perhaps everything's really good and you think it's really good, and then you're in these postures and you're finding a lot of intensity in your hip area. You could just be holding on to some other stuff, or perhaps from sitting more at home. So just be mindful and kind to yourself as you sink in here. And we're already over halfway through this side. So if you want to take it further, you certainly can. If you're in full frog, still got a long way to go because you're going to stay there when we move to the other side. So just breathe in, send some breath to your hips. Pay attention to your breath and where your mind is going right now. Can you just bring it back to your mat, thanking yourself for doing this? Any hateful thoughts that you want to send my way for making you hold these hip openers? But I know that I've been really needing that lately, of just letting things go. And again, we're not in this forever, so just continue to send breath there and lean into this a little bit more. You are doing so many great things for yourself right now, and just be so grateful for that you chose this today. So take what you need out of it. And if the postures that I'm calling for you to do aren't speaking to you, you can take it where you need. This is your class. Final few breaths here before we start to make our way out. You can slowly start to slide your left leg back to meet your right. And if you just come up to your forearms for a brief stop, we're gonna just windshield wiper our feet to either side just to loosen up our backs here. If you're in full frog and you're just hanging out, you can stay there. You knew hopefully what you're getting yourself into with doing that, so just hang out. And when you're ready, we'll make our way to our our right side. So start to slowly slide your right knee up to meet your right forearm, your elbow. You can take your gaze over to your right side. Again, if you want to, you can dig your toes into your mat, lift up your hip, and then slowly move it over slightly to the left, just to get in further in your hip flexor on the right hand side. Should feel more of a stretch in your groin area. If you're in full frog, at least you're more than halfway done now with your full expression. So stay there, deepen if you can. Again, taking what you need today. And this side might be more uncomfortable for you. And just be mindful of that. Start to pay attention to what your body is telling you. And you may need to spend more time doing some hip openers throughout the week, just so that you aren't saving it for when you do decide to join a restorative practice. These are things that you can do for yourself at any point throughout your day. I typically am sitting now that I'm home, a couch for majority of my work day, and I have noticed so much more intense pain in my hips and lower back than normal. So I've been spending more time in yin postures, primarily before bed, just to help strengthen my lower back, but also letting go of some of that stress and tension that I've been holding on to. So some of these postures might be good takeaways for you throughout the week to start exploring on your own. Even if you just spend 10 minutes of your day just getting into something like this, you can really feel the benefits throughout the week. Can you start to soften any area of your body? Perhaps you're holding on to a lot of tension in your upper back to try to get into this posture. Just ease into it. If you need to back off, please just do that. And we're halfway through already, so if you need to take it further or you need to back off, we're about halfway through. And for those that are in full frog, you're almost done. Can you softly close your eyes and just breathe in for the last few minutes here? Just knowing that this is not a forever thing. Can you relax your glute on the right side just a little bit? Are you tensing up there and holding on, or can you just ease into it a little bit more? Only 30 more seconds left in frog. Taking what you still need before we move on. Slowly find your next inhale. Start to make your way out by lengthening your right leg to meet your left at the back of your mat. Again, just take a brief moment to windshield wiper your legs from side to side, just to ease off your lower back. When you're ready, make your way to a tabletop position. Stacking your hips over your knees, your shoulders over your wrists. Ground down into your left palm. And when you're ready, inhale your right palm up to the sky. Take your gaze up with it towards the right side of your mat. And when you're ready, exhale, come through for thread the needle. So you'll bring your palm facing up to the sky. You may have noticed that your hips immediately shifted to where your left hip is above your right. Can you just slightly nudge your left hip down, your right hip up, so they're more squared with the mat? You may want to take this further. If broken wing is in your practice and you want a more intense shoulder opener, please take that. But this is probably good for a lot of us, especially if you're on your computer or your phone a lot. You're hunched over. There's a lot of tension that you're likely storing in your upper back. So you should feel the stretch on your right shoulder. If this is not enough for you, you want a little bit more, you can extend your left fingertips towards the top of the mat to help you anchor in. This also will help you shift your hips to be squared with the mat. Can you close your eyes and just sink in here, knowing that we won't be here forever, but the amount of opening that you're going to do to your shoulder blades and your upper body will be so worth it. We're about halfway through on this side. Again, tune into your hips. My left hip keeps sneaking up throughout because I want to try to open up more towards the left side of my mat. But can you just continue to nudge that back down and lift your right hip up just a little bit more? You'll feel more of an intense stretch in your shoulder if you do that. Just think of the space that you're creating in your upper body by gently allowing yourself to open here. And all of the stuff that you have done to yourself over the week, you can now undo. 30 more seconds on this side before we switch it out. Can you send breath to your shoulder blade and just enjoy these last 30 seconds in this posture? Slowly make your way out. If you've extended your left palm to the top of your mat, just bring that back towards your face. Push up here. Inhale, lift your right fingertips up to the sky. You might want to take some arm circles here towards the front of your mat and then towards the back, just to open up and loosen up that side. Whatever feels good to you, please take that here. And when you're ready on your time, we're going to take this on the other side. So plant your right palm firmly into the mat. Inhale, take your gaze up, your fingertips up to the sky. Twist open here. Exhale, bring it through for thread the needle on this side. Again, you can keep your hand close to your chest and your face, or you can extend it towards the top of your mat. You want to ease into this, but be mindful of your hips again. Your right hip is likely jutted up a little bit further than your left. Just pivot and shift them back to be more squared towards your mat. Again, taking what you need here. I'll let you know when we're halfway through. We're halfway through this side already. So if you want to take it further, you can. But if this feels good to you, just softly close your eyes if you haven't already and just enjoy melting into the mat more. Opening up your left shoulder. If you are typically using your left hand a little bit more, this side might be a little bit more tense, or maybe this is your easier side if you're right-handed, or use your right arm more. So just breathe into that and pay attention to that as well. You might hear a crying baby. Tune that out. Tune into any sounds that sound good to you, like the music perhaps, or birds chirping. "30 more seconds here. Taking any final expressions. When you're ready, slowly start to make your way out. Press into your right palm and lift your left fingertips up to the sky. Take your gaze up. And again, if you want to take some arm circles just to bring some blood flow back, you can certainly do that. If being still on this side feels better for you, please stay there. When you're ready, make your way down to your seat. Send your legs out to the front of your mat. You can wiggle your sit bones down by removing any excess flesh. You likely will need a couple props here. Perhaps you just have some pillows. Throw pillows are great. If you've got blocks or books, you can take them too. I'm going to take a seated forward fold. But since we'll be holding this just for a little bit longer than typical, you might want some props just to prop up your forehead or just to take some of that release off of you. So you can stack them any way that feels good to you, any height that you might need. Inhale, take your gaze up, your arms up. Exhale, start to reach towards the front of the mat. And when you start to feel your spine rounding is when you can just release down to your prop. You might be super open and might be able to fold all the way without the use of props, or you can grab onto your feet, but anything that feels good to you, please take that here. Be holding this for about 90 seconds just to get into our lower back before we head back down. Where can you continue to release and breathe in and soften. We're halfway through, so if you can, lower your block or prop a little bit this last 45 seconds. Please take that. If this is all too much for you, just stay where you're at. Final few breaths here. Slowly, slowly make your way out. Come back to a seated position. Move any props that you may have used to assist you. And start to come all the way down to your back. Gently just rock from side to side, just to loosen up your lower back from our seated forward fold. And when you're ready, inhale your knees into your forehead, close your eyes. Exhale, release open for Shavasana. So take any shape that feels good to you today. If you have a wall near you, you can take legs up the wall. If you need a little bit of a break, if you want, you can place your palms up to receive some good energy, down to feel more grounded. If you have props near you, you can always place them under your knees, just for gentle opening. But just pay attention to where you're still holding on to any tension. So can you release any tension in your face, soften your jaw, remove your tongue from the top of your mouth, roll the shoulders down your back. Taking time here to fully rest. The benefits of this pose are huge, and so often we want to just fast forward and end class, but can you just take a few minutes here for yourself and just relax? Shavasana is here for you as long as you have the time. So if you have more time to rest, please take that now. You don't need to listen to me. Tune out the sound of my voice and just enjoy this space. But if you're ready to move on with the rest of your Saturday, start to slowly bring some awareness back into your body. And you slightly wiggle your fingers and your toes. Perhaps you roll out your wrists and your ankles. And when you're ready, you can extend your arms overhead, you can point your toes towards the bottom of your mat and just take a great big morning stretch, feeling the full effects of the practice today and the amount of opening that you did for yourself. Exhale, slowly start to make your way to either side for a brief stop and feel pose. And tune out the fire truck that is passing by my house right now. And just tune into what is happening on your mat. When you're ready, slowly start to make your way to a comfortable seated position. Bringing your hands to heart center, and you can softly close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Full deep breath out, let something go. Breathe in something that you still need. Exhale something that you don't. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you can move forward with the rest of your day just a little bit lighter. Thank you. Namaste, everyone.